What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of 30 Minutes of Hell. I am your host, Brandon Baker, joined as always by Joey Jackson and Matt Jackson. And we've got some Razorback hoops to talk about. Arkansas starts 2-0 in SEC play for the first time since like 2015.
Pigs
Pig suey.
suey.
Y'all
Let's
are going to be
go.
hearing a lot of woo pigs from this podcast this season.
How many more games you got, Brandon? Including national
Uh,
championship.
all the way to the national championship. There's 16 more regular season games, so I don't know how many that is in the SEC tournament, national championship. I don't know, like 20 games or so.
You'll be
plan
hearing
on
at
24.
least 20
Least.
more woo pigs.
Maybe even 21.
Yeah. It's going to be a bigger one if they win all the way to the national championship. We may all be shirtless or something. I don't know.
That's
But-
the
That'll eat
plan.
the socks.
I'll eat my socks. Going back to season 1.
Arkansas defeats Ole Miss on the road to get its second SEC win in a row. Big win. We talked about it a little bit on the last pod that it's not easy to win on the road against any SEC team. Ole Miss is relatively middle of the pack, but it's still a road game. It's still a good win. Big performances again. And like I feel like we're running out of things to say about Darius Acuff. 26-9, didn't have the most efficient night, but did okay. 2 steals and a block, still a positive influence on the court, still took over late, got to the free throw line 12 times. And it's just, it's weird because in my head, I almost feel like at some point he's going to fall off or not have one of these good games. And he delivers every single time. And it's weird to experience that in a Razorback uniform, how consistent and how great he just continues to be.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think it is a lot to do with like whether he's scoring or not, he's controlling the game. Like his passing is unreal. He was putting some passes where I could sit there and look at the court from the bird's eye view and not find the guy that he was going to pass it to and how he would get it there. But he figures it out, and it's amazing.
I keep going back to that buzzer beater at halftime,
Oh.
placing that ball perfectly to Brazil.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
okay, hold on. Let me step back for a minute because everyone's talking about how good the pass was, which it was. But can we talk about how Brazil is a shooter now? Like that is how a shooter catches, like that's what you would expect to see from Klay Thompson. Not
Yeah.
that I'm comparing Trevon Brazile to Klay Thompson, but he caught that in motion and raised perfectly. Like that was
It was
a
a pro
shooter's
shot.
motion.
The no dip 3 from Brazil. I mean, Acuff put it right in the pocket where he didn't have to, but Brazil to catch it and let it fly like that, the confidence to do it and then knock it down because he was not wide open. Like he couldn't
No.
dip. The defender was under like his arms a little bit.
And
So to get that shot off, yeah, 100%. That's a pro shot.
That was one of the most beautiful uses of his height and wingspan I've ever
Yes.
seen. I was like, please do that more if you can. Like it was exactly what I expected from him, being that tall and that good of a shooter.
Yeah.
One play is hard to raise like your stock, like as an NBA prospect or anything like that. But if anyone is watching this game and they see the length and the athleticism and the things that Trevon Brazile brings to the court, and all of a sudden he's hitting no dip threes with the defender in his grill, like he deserves a shot in the league. I understand he's 22, 23 years old now, but that's a pro play from both of them. Acuff, obviously, we've been talking about it, but I mean, Brazil, he had finished with 18 points in this game, 4 or 5 from the 3-point line. Over his last 9 games now, Brazil is shooting 50% from 3, and that includes games where he goes 3 of 4 against Louisville, 4 of 5 against Texas Tech, 4 of 5 against Ole Miss, 5 of 7 against Queens. Like, he's a little bit streaky because some of the games in between he wasn't making as many, but 50% over his last 9 games is unbelievable. I mean, Joey, you said it best. He's a shooter now. And like he's always been an okay shooter, a good shooter, but we're asking more of him this year and asking him to spread the floor more, and he's delivering beautifully.
And I think what makes that even better is how much of a threat he is on the interior as well. I feel like last year it was like Cal was prepping him for this role for a bigger spread on offense, because last year it was like he wasn't on the 3-point line very much. He was in the paint doing his job there. And then this year it's like a complete difference. He's handling the ball better. He is driving into the paint like we want him to, and that's allowing him to be a threat on both. Like you can't get too close to him, or he's going to blow by you. And you know,
He
go
was
ahead, Joey.
very streaky from three last year. Like we'd be lucky if we saw, a couple threes from him a game. But you're 100%
Yeah,
right. He wasn't taking as much threes. He wasn't shooting it with confidence. He was just like every now and then we'd see a three, every now and then we'd see two threes, and now it's like, yeah, this guy's a threat from deep.
it just seemed like he
He's
wasn't
been
sitting on the corner like he is now. You know,
Yes.
he's been hovering right around 35% on his career and taking like two-ish, 2 to 3 3-point attempts a game. He's averaging 3.5 attempts per game and sitting at 43% on the season right now. Like it is a leap that he has taken.
Unbelievable.
No pun intended for how good of a leaper he is. But
But
so a couple other guys, Malik Thomas had another like good game, 5 of 12 from the field, hit a couple of threes. Carter Knox played well, continued to play hard. The 6 rebounds, the 10 points, had an efficient shooting night. I feel like the sooner Carter Knox like continues to realize that he is a great catch and shoot or pump fake one dribble scorer, the better off he is going to be because those are the type of looks that he gets. And like he has the strength to get to the paint. We've just talked consistently about how he kind of overthinks things sometimes. If he doesn't have to make too many moves or have the ball in his hands for too long, if he's set up in a position where he can catch and either score or just make a move and then go score, I think he's a good player. This is a good game. This is the Carter Knox that we need.
yeah.
he just needs to let the game come to him. He's overthinking. We talk about it every game. He's overthinking everything. And if he would just let it flow, he would be great.
I
But it
think
didn't
he's
feel like he overthought too much in this game, though, because like the 4 of 8 from the field,
Right.
10 points, there wasn't that many times this game where I felt like, what are you doing, Carter? Like he
Yeah.
did well.
We get it every so often. Like we've seen it a couple times this season, but we've seen the overthinking more often than not, is what I'm trying to get at.
I feel like this was maybe the start to him finding his role, like him not trying to be that guy that goes and gets you 18 points. It just seemed like he worked his rear end off and did what he had to do to help the team win, and he did great at it. But I'm going to steal this because I don't want anybody talking about him but me, Mr. Perfection, Billy Richmond. All right. He did not miss at all. At all. 13 points.
0 turnovers, too.
0 turnovers. Mr. Perfection. I love it. The only issue is he had 2 fouls, but we're going to look by that, past that.
But he drew 2 fouls, too, so that
it
balances
evens
out.
out.
Evens out. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I love this man. He is,
He was on prime full display Billy Richmond in this game.
See,
Knocked down a
calm,
3, perfect from the
composed.
field. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing his thing with the athleticism, but in a controlled manner. Yeah. This is everything we wanted Billy Richmond to be. We saw it in this game.
I do real quick want to go back to Knox because it will also lead into my next point. You say, Matt, that he's finding his groove and he's contributing to success. He was one of our 2 players who were in the minus of our plus minus.
You know me.
The other one being Nick Pringle, who was horrid at minus 15. Knox was at minus 8. So yes, I get that Knox is better than what he has been, but he's still not making this team, like, it's not showing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't know as much about the -8 as I don't know if that gives a real story. I feel like we wouldn't have done as
It's
good without Knox doing that. I don't know how that works though. So like
It's a stat worth considering other factors whenever you're looking at the plus minus. You're right that he was part of the stretch where Ole Miss kind of started to put a run back together. But I think that with the efficient shooting, he did have 2 turnovers, but I think that he was still, I know it doesn't necessarily say it in the plus minus, but I felt like he was still a net positive most of the time he was on the court, primarily from his effort, not because of the like smart plays or the offensive plays he was making, but because we're getting the elite effort that we need from him.
Yeah.
The 2 offensive rebounds, the 50% from the field, like that kind of stuff is still a net positive, even if it's not, you're right, it's not always showing up in the scoreboard.
And I feel like a lot of the plays against where he was guarding Dia, he did really well. I feel
He
like he
did
forced,
guard.
you
He
know,
guarded Dia pretty
but I
solid.
don't, I'm not the stat man here, so I don't know all of which goes into plus minus. I don't know if it's like your opponent
It's just
scoring as
It's
well
it's
or
just
yeah,
what.
it's
the score. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it's literally like he was outscored by 8 points while he was. We were outscored by 8 points while
Okay.
he was on the
Fair
floor.
enough. So, I mean, they were hitting some hero shots towards the end there. I
Yeah, that
mean,
one dude, what's his
yeah,
name? Klafke came
yeah,
in like
Klafki.
a walk on or something that plays less than 10
yeah.
minutes a game. The dude
God.
came in was Kobe.
I mean, that was just like desperation. They have nothing to lose, and they started making a little run. I feel like we were composed enough to, of course, absorb that, but I still felt
Well,
like we
I
were
was
in
that
control.
was that was Beard making a statement to his starters, taking out the guys that were not giving effort, putting in the end of his bench, and I felt like we just let off the gas
Yeah.
and they were ready to play. And like they went on a little run and then
It's
we
like
weathered the
and
that
storm.
was that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 go.
yeah,
Yep.
it was. And that is something, Brandon, that I wanted to bring up on this episode was we it's kind of a double-edged sword because we had the opportunity to put them away and they
Mhm.
kept coming back and we weren't able to get over that hump of putting them to bed. They kept getting hope and that's what led to their run late in the quarter or late in the second half. But on the same note of that, we didn't get flustered by them making their runs. We kept the deficit around 10 points the entire game. Like I mean, it was it was pretty back and forth. Like we would go on a good, 5 to 10 point run. They would go on a 5 to 10 point run.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like weighing the pros and cons there. It felt like a team that I didn't feel like Ole Miss should have hung with us like that. Like I felt like we should have put them to bed early in the second half, and that just didn't happen. But I am pleased that we didn't get rattled whenever they did hit big shots, and
I feel like
It
we
was
were.
it was go ahead.
I feel like we were fully in control. I never got that feeling like we're gonna blow this.
I
You know,
agree.
I
I
feel
agree.
like we were just really in control of the game. But yeah, I agree. We should have put them away. I mean, we were up by what, 16 at one point, and but there was a weird stretch where it was like a foul every possession.
It
And
was,
like
yeah.
you kind of
Yeah.
get off your rhythm, and it was both ends. It was like we
Yeah.
drew a foul, they drew a foul, we drew a foul. It was like they were making bad calls and they were trying to make up for them, and it was so weird. And so that would slow me down too. Be like, all right, now my adrenaline's worn off, and I'm not sweating anymore because I'm not running. I'm sitting here resting at the free throw line, right?
Yeah, and it's a weird circumstance too, and I said it at the beginning of the pod, but any SEC road game, like to me, the home crowd is good for an 8-0 run at least once a game, and I think they sparked that. Like I think the Ole Miss, the end of the bench came in, hit a big shot, and all of a sudden it was instant energy. It took hardly nothing for them to spark off of that one make, and then they made that run coming back, and to weather that storm, regardless of how good the other team is on the road. You're absolutely right, Joey. I think that is a defining trait of a mature and good team that has the qualities that it takes to go far, late in the year. And to have it in game two of conference play is crazy. Like it's special that they are already able to do that. But we definitely were talented enough to put Ole Miss away early. I am not in by any means concerned that they went on a run. I think that them putting in players we didn't game plan for, them being at home, just the weird circumstance, the foul, the rhythm of the game being kind of thrown off. Like I don't know, it didn't bother me that much, and like you said, it didn't never felt like we let off the reins entirely, and we maintained control all the way through the end. So.
As you know by now, we have teamed up with BetMGM again this season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we will have special offers for Field of 68 fans, including same-game parlays, best-in-class live betting, and daily odds boost. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD to get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. You download the BetMGM app. You sign up using bonus code FIELD. You deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure you use that bonus code FIELD when you sign up. Make this college basketball season 1 for the history books. Make it legendary. And don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD and get your $1,500 first bet offer today.
All right, moving on. Arkansas now has a chance to start 3-0 in SEC play, but this next game is probably going to be, on paper, in theory, a little tougher at Auburn. Even though Auburn did start SEC play 0-2, playing at Auburn is probably tougher to play at than at Ole Miss when the team, if you hold the teams even, regardless of like how good they are. And Auburn being 0-2 already, that tells me that they're hungry, that they're running out of things to lose because they're on pace to, be fighting for their tournament life. I think that, when you back an animal into a corner, it's a lot more dangerous than if it's happy and fed. So, like, this game could be dangerous for that reason more than anything else. Throw in the fact that Auburn also has some talented guys that could really hurt us. They're still ranked in the top 40 or so in most metrics, 37 in the net rankings, Ken Palm. And they've got Keyshawn Hall, a big transfer that I was interested in when Muss was still here. I was interested again last offseason. Like, he's a good 3-level, versatile, 6'7" wing scorer. And that's the position he plays. He's just a scorer, right? 21 points a game right now, over 42% from three, versatile guy, just really like the head of the snake. We kind of touch on that, say that phrase almost every episode, but that's where it starts for Auburn is Keyshawn Hall. And then right there with him is their explosive point guard, Tahad Pettiford, sophomore guard, who is capable of getting hot in a hurry. That worries me with him being at home. Just, don't let him get his footing and get comfortable. He's been a little inefficient this year, shooting like right at 30% from three. Not even as good as Billy Richmond shooting from three. Let me throw that out there for Matt. But just you can't let Pettiford get going because he will hurt you in a hurry if he starts seeing the ball go through the hoop. That's an explosive scorer when he gets on one of his streaks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And as a team, led by Keyshawn Hall, I hadn't mentioned it, but talk about his 3-level scoring. He gets to the free throw line at a crazy rate. He's averaging like over 9 free throw attempts a game, which is more than anyone on Arkansas by far. But as a team, they rank top 10 in the country in getting to the free throw line and shoot 74% from the free throw line at home. So to me, ignoring the names on the jerseys, just team ball, defending without fouling and not letting this become a free throw shooting contest is going to be key because Auburn is really, really good at that. Like, that's part of their game is getting to the line. They're going to be at home. That home court advantage, whether or not Auburn fans think that they get penalized by the SEC more than anyone else, they don't. And at home, it's going to still be, tough for Arkansas to maintain getting those whistles and holding pace with their free throw rate the way that Auburn does.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's gonna be an offensive showcase. Auburn's not great defensively outside of Keyshawn Murphy, so I think we keep him off the line. We play our brand of basketball. I think we're in good shape here. Auburn is a tough place to play, but something that I would really be interested in seeing with how you talked earlier, Brandon, about how well Brazile has been shooting. I wouldn't be opposed to running him at the 5 for a bit because Murphy is very much an interior guy. He's big. He's not going to have the mobility to guard Brazile on the perimeter. And they really try to kind of hide him in the paint. So if you get Brazile at the 5, put Knox at the 4, spread it with Acuff, Malik, and Billy around the perimeter, like then you put Murphy in a position where he has to make a decision. Either he's got to play Brazile in the corner or he's got to stay in the paint and prevent Acuff, Malik, Billy from getting to the rim. And with how great of a passer Acuff is, I'm going to pull a Shaq. That's barbecue chicken. Like he's going to make that read. He's either going to get directly to the rim. It's a layup contest, or he's going to dish to an open Brazile shooting 50% over his last 9 games. And unless we have just a complete offensive breakdown, I'm confident with those odds.
Yep, I agree. You got to use Brazil's mobility in our favor, like especially with how we've seen him grow as a ball handler as well, like being able to push it up the court and everything. So yeah, I 100% agree. You got to get him on the 3-point line, make him a threat from literally everywhere, force him out of the paint, force him to come guard Brazile outside.
Exactly.
And then Brazil's a pretty solid passer too here recently. I mean, he's making good reads.
Mhm.
I feel like he can find somebody cutting back door as well. I mean, just keep
I
moving.
think I think in theory that's like I agree wholeheartedly that that should work. I don't know that we've seen Cal go to that small ball very much this
Mhm.
year. I would be very curious to see if he does it because I think you're right. When you have a center that's like this that doesn't want to guard the perimeter and you're able to stretch out that court, like that's a big benefit. I think if that is the case and we do see a lineup like that, I think the key to that lineup is Billy Richmond because Murphy is like a true center. You're right. You know, he packs the paint. They've got three other dudes that are like true forwards, 6'8" guys that are probably playing alongside Murphy and Keyshawn Hall. So I say that to say that Hall is not always playing the four spot. He's not always going to be in a position where Brazile or Knox can guard him. And I think Billy, even though Hall is a tall player and able to get his shot off over defenders, I think Billy's defense, being able to neutralize Hall a little bit with that small ball lineup, I think that's the key if we are able to pull off something like that, a little change in scheme.
Yeah,
And
Hall or not Hall. Billy and Knox are both going to be X factors to stopping Hall.
yeah,
And I think Malik Ewan, I think he's going to play a big factor in this game, being kind of that guy who runs the high post and is able to look back door, make good plays, make good passes. I think that's going to really stretch out Auburn's defense because I haven't been impressed with their defense. I don't know what their ranking is. I don't know what defensively, but I think we can pick them apart. We're averaging over 90 points a game.
yeah. From what I've seen on Auburn, I 100% agree with you. I trust Billy Richmond's perimeter defense 110%. I mean, that guy he's the worst player to play against, and he's going to he's going to be talking all the time. He wants that big matchup. So, yeah, like you said, X Factors, him and Knox for sure. And I trust both of them. They're some of our best defenders. So,
And I do want to see more of you and too, Joe. You mentioned that. Like, I feel like there's some games where he's playing well and he's still not even playing that much. Like against Ole Miss, I felt like Pringle was not giving us what we needed
Exactly.
in the interior.
mhm,
And Ewan still only played 15 minutes in that game.
yeah.
And so, like, I feel like we're not going small that often with Brazil at the five, but they're really splitting the minutes between Pringle and Ewan as much as they can. But I want to see Ewan more.
Yeah.
I'm sure that Cal is seeing something, whether it be effort, turnover, decision making, whatever, that maybe limits Ewan from being out there sometimes. But like, this is the time to let him play through it.
Yeah.
Like before, we're in great standing now. The record is great where we're at. I'm not saying throw games to let Ewan stay on the court, but like let him play through a couple of mistakes if that's the reason he's not on the court. Because he only had like one foul in this game when he played 15 minutes. So that wasn't the reason.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't know exactly why he's not playing more, but I would love to see more of him because just we've talked about it from the beginning. The skill set and potential that he brings can unlock a new level if he's playing at hit the peak of his
I feel
abilities.
maybe I feel like he's slow. Like I just don't feel like he's he doesn't react quick. And maybe that's the reason. I feel like
Maybe
that's
the reaction time, but like if you just
because
watch him run down the court though, like he moves well for a 6'10"
yeah,
dude.
especially on offense. I mean,
Yeah.
his footwork and everything is beautiful. He's quick there, but like just the defensive end, I think that's the biggest reason we're playing Pringle more is well, he's a beast. I mean, he's a big guy. I see dudes who are significantly taller and honestly way more and try to shoulder into him and he's like a brick wall, right? Ewan's a little softer in that case. It's just people get around him. He's not in the right spot and he can't hang on to a ball.
Yeah, if Pringle would just catch one pass, I think I would be okay with him playing 25 minutes a game. That'd be fine. But because I mean, in this game, like Ole Miss, he was like actively turning the ball over by missing passes and fumbling stuff out of bounds. Like I don't need him to be great offensively. Just don't be an active negative factor while you're out there on offense because he is a positive. Like he is the team's clearly best interior defender and provides good minutes defensively. most of the time he still gets beat. Everyone does. He's not a perfect defender, but he is better than you in defensively. He still provides some value on that end of the court. Just like when he's that much of a net negative on offense, sometimes it's hard. I feel like we have two halves of one really amazing player with Pringle and with you, and if we could just
Yeah.
combine them, we'd probably have like, I don't know, Carl Anthony Towns or something on the court. But Joe, you mentioned earlier Auburn's defense bringing up their ratings right now, just according to KenPom, ranking outside the top 100 defensively, but inside the top 15 offensively. So that's a streaky, like you said, an offensive slugfest. Really, is what this is going to be.
Yep.
And thankfully, Hogs are averaging like 90 points a game, so I feel pretty good. Even going on to the road, I feel pretty good about keeping up the pace in that kind of game.
What are we ranked defensively? Are we inside the top 100?
Yeah, we're 60th defensively and 12th, one spot ahead of Auburn offensively. So key metric.
There we go.
A few other key, factors in this game could be turning points for Auburn. Really, like the biggest difference between their wins and losses this year has been their ability to just really make shots. Like, I think if Arkansas can defend without fouling and just force them to shoot over the top, I will feel really good about this game. When they win, they're shooting like 37 or better from beyond the arc and not even 30% when they lose. And their total field goal percentage drops like 12 percentage points when they lose. And so, like, if you just force them into some tough shots and don't reach, just stay disciplined, I don't think that this should be that much of a problem for the Hogs. Make them take those long jumpers, make them shoot over the top of you, and I think that we can outpace them offensively if we can force them into a little lower field goal percentage. All right, so game 3 of SEC play. Let's get a score prediction. Does Arkansas win 3 in a row starting on the road again?
Joey, you want me to go first?
Go ahead.
Of course. Of course.
Shocker.
Score prediction. Give me Hogs. I'm going to go 88. I think it's going to be high scoring. 88 to 79. 79.
Wow.
88,
I
79.
just want to let the record show that I've already written my
Oh. I thought he was going to give me some stat to contradict
No,
me.
no, no. I've already written my score prediction down because I'll have an article coming out previewing this game too. So I've got my score prediction. Just want to let that be known.
Oh, okay.
It's very close to Matt's.
Okay. Listen, I think it may be a little closer. I think Auburn's 0-2 in SEC, but lost the last 2 games by a combined 6 points. I think they're itching for a win. I think the Hogs are going to come into a very hostile crowd. I think they're going to come into a very ready to win crowd. I do think that we're going to pull off the win. I don't think that it should be enough of an impact to throw us completely off our game. I want to really break some hearts and give them their 3rd single-digit loss of the season. I would love to demoralize them and beat them by 20 points, although I don't think that's going to happen. So
It's
just
tough on the
as good
road.
with a heartbreak. Yeah. I think that it'll be. I think we're both gonna push upper 80s, low 90s. So I'm gonna say 92 to 86.
I say this every time when we're playing a road game where I'm like, oh, I think that our shooting won't be there as much on the road, and then we go out and drop 94 points.
So
in
keep
our
saying
first road SEC game. So but I'm gradually creeping closer to 90, but I still think we'll be right under it. Score prediction that I have decided on: 88 to 82 Hogs. So just a couple points off what Matt said, but I like it. I think that we are still just going to score in the 80s against everybody, and at some point we're just going to have to stop some people and or just keep outpacing them, I guess. But
Yeah.
yeah. All right, that's all the time we have for you guys today. Appreciate you tuning in. Quick reminder, we are brought to you by the Field of 68 Podcast Network. You can find us on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts, on Twitter, wherever you get your stuff. Please like, subscribe, retweet, leave a comment, share, leave a review. Do whatever it is you do on those sites. We really appreciate it. It really helps us out. It helps out the pod. Until next time, I've been your host, Brandon Baker, joined as always by Joe Jackson and Matt Jackson. And as always, go Hogs.
Thanks, everyone.